Hey, welcome to part 2 of our shower video. In this video, we're going to take out all the clips, we're going to clean it up, we're going to grout, we're going to polish this up till it's perfect. I'm using a brand new grout that I've never used before. It's sold at Home Depot called Polyblend. We're going to follow the instructions for you because it tells me on the box that you have 20 minutes once you put it on the wall to start washing. The challenge today is, can I get this done in 20 minutes or am I going to have to make a second box? You all know my advice on grout is simple. You mix it, you mix the whole box, right? The only time you can cheat on that is when you're using unsanded grout that doesn't have any browns. If it's just gray, generally you can cheat. But I'm using, it's called a brown, it's bone, okay? That means there's red dye in it. Because grout's a mixture, I can't afford to have 2 different colors on the wall. I'm gonna go the whole box. I'm gonna try to do this in 20 minutes, just so that you can get an idea if you think it's gonna be something that you can accomplish. Because as a homeowner who's never tiled before, you might find that getting 2 boxes is worth the investment because this might be a lot of work to get this done. The best thing to do when you're working fast like that is make sure everything is perfectly clean. So we're gonna start by removing the clips. We'll get this thing cleaned up. We'll show you a couple tips and tricks. Of course, cleaning is easy if you work clean, right? Follow the video from before this one to learn how to do this tile job. It's tile over tile, all right? And we're using all Home Depot products in the entire bathroom renovation series. So let's just jump into it. I got a rubber mallet. These clips are designed so that with the wedge in there, okay? I'll give it up. All right, here we go. If you work clean, now see, that wasn't even clean. It just pops right out, no problem. It's actually a lot of fun. And if you don't work clean, like right here, well, I left this one dirty on purpose for you. You can see I got a little bit of that plastic sticking out. A million people are always asking me, how do I get rid of the little plastic tabs? A, work clean, but if it happens to you, watch this. Remember, this is a glazed tile, it's porcelain. It's very sharp edge here, okay? You can't be chipping around with metal tools, they're gonna cause you all kinds of issues. What you can do is you can take your Olfa knife on an angle, set in the bottom of the groove here, okay? And you can cut the plastic towards the middle, boom, all right? So that I'm not actually putting any pressure on the glaze. Now, as far as cleaning the cement out, you just want to pull straight through with just the tip. All right, now, if you're doing this within a couple of days of doing the cement work, you can actually just take your wet sponge and you can get this soaking wet first. It comes out a lot easier. We'll show you that in just a minute. But for now, let's just finish getting all these clips off. This is therapeutic. It should be that easy. I'm gonna just show you something real quick, because understanding these clips is the key to knowing why it's worth taking the time to work clean. Here we go. Here's the one that was just broken off, and here's the other one. Now, if I'm gonna hold them side by side, I'll show you something. Here we go. This is the part that goes behind the tile, okay? And you can see that's where it breaks off, right where the wedge pivots. Now, it doesn't pull off straight off, okay? It has to be rocked out on an edge, okay? And it tears, so there's a weak spot there, okay? Now the lash system, I'm finding it's working okay, okay? It doesn't take a lot of force to clean your tile, right? Oh, there's another one that had too much cement. Great. You'll find that there's a lot of people in the industry in the tile clip market. And what they're doing is they're designing different clips with different weak spots in them, okay? Because I can just peel these off when I do it right. But tile guys generally work so fast, they don't have time to work clean. So what they've done is they've got a whole industry of tile clip people, and they're making tile clips for the messy tile installer. And the weak spot that tears off is so weak that even when you're compressing the 2 pieces together, they'll break on you. So it's a real art. Okay, of course, if you don't have a hammer, you can always use a tape measure. Okay, you just use the rubber side. Right? That works too, right? But try to keep away from using metal inside your showers. All right. It's like if you're not enjoying taking your clips off, you shouldn't be renovating your house. This is the joy of renovating right here. Right? You gotta be able to have a little bit of fun once in a while. Okay, I told you I was gonna use everything from Home Depot on this. So I went out and bought their whole saw kit for tile. God help us all. We're gonna use this thing and see if it works. I'm putting my own shower in the balance here. So this is an experiment for sure. As you can see up top here, I always cut my holes as I tile, and I grind from the back side. I never have an issue with that. So I don't own one of these, but I have come to realize when working with my kids that grinding from the back of the tile is a skill set that a lot of people have trouble with. Now, if you want to learn how to use grinder tools to cut your tile, we have a video for that. You can link up in the video description. And you get cards for that as well. Let's see. Well, they have a kit here that's designed to use over and over and over and over again. Eh? Okay, so basically the idea here, guys, you take this off and you put it on here so that you can actually stick this to the wall. Cool, huh? Now, a measuring tape is 3 7/16 from this point on the arrow. Now half is 8/16, so it's just right there. That's the center of the pipe, okay? What we're gonna do, in here, there's these 4 raised sections, like crosshairs, okay? Makes sense? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just draw a cross and then line this up right where I want it and draw a circle inside. Okay, so now it's easy for me to line up. When you're using these particular fixtures, where I have a water supply coming out here, it supplies a hose that goes to an adjustable arm. Okay, so I got a shower wand. A lot of the fittings that go over here are actually quite small and delicate, so you don't have a lot of mercy. So you really want to get this right the first time. Nice. Of course, you've got to have a drill with a chuck because, well, that's a smooth shaft if I ever saw one. God help us all. We're going to not use the hammer drill function, just the regular drill. We'll go on a relatively low speed. We'll see how this bad boy works. I mean, we've all used tile saws, drill bits like this before, similar styles. And what you do is if you don't have this assembly, you would basically just set the edge like this, right? Put your drill down and you hold it and you set the edge and you grind through the tile slowly, slowly. And as you get a little bit of through the glaze, you start rocking it up so that it has something to sit in, right? So it doesn't run all over the wall. It's a little tricky, all right? This just takes the whole skill factor out of the equation. The only thing I'm not liking is there's a lot of movement here. All right, so I'm gonna try to stand out of the way. I'm gonna start with the bottom down like normal, so I'm not running all over the place, okay? Oh, that's a great sound right there. Now, we're doing great. What I'm doing is I'm actually putting just a small amount of rocking motion on there. I want to make the hole I'm drilling just a hair bigger than the bit itself so that I'm not overheating it as I drill, okay? And I don't want to run a risk of, while I'm making a hole of it, binding and shearing off the tile. Very cool. Okay, I think I'm done with this now. I don't really need this protector here. That's really on there. Okay, come on guys, let go. There we go. Boy, that's really sticky stuff. That's why I love Olfa. It's like having a razor blade on you at all times, right? This is some hard stone. I'm almost halfway through. It's getting a little warm. I think I'm going to grab a sponge with some water and hopefully that'll help this work a little more efficiently. Okay. So Max is over here, he's like, he can smell it. Yeah. So basically I'm just taking a relatively damp sponge, and as I'm just pressing, the water comes out off the corner right onto my bit. Okay. We got something cored out here. Let's have a look. Temper the core sample. Okay, so that's the tile. And then we have thin set. Shouldn't there be a hole there? I'm getting really concerned here, actually. What? Why? There was a hole. I measured from the tile up to where the center of the hole is. I marked it down, translating that information. You know, worst case scenario, I'm in the wrong spot. I will open the other side of that wall and move that fitting to where it has to go, because I'm not retiling. But this is a tile over tile project. I might just be making contact with the next layer of stone here. I gotta be careful. Ooh, there we go. Oh no, okay, we're good. That was just a big chunk of thin set that got pushed into the hole. Nice. Okay. That's right on the money. Not a bad little gizmo. I don't know how many holes you'll be able to make with it, but it's definitely got diamond tip stuff left on it. So if you're doing 1 or 2 jobs at your house, I'm going to recommend that tool. That was awesome. One thing about these tiles that I noticed, here it is. They've got these little wax elements on them. Okay? But they're only on these tiles, not on the Basque-weave. And I don't know what the deal is with that. But they got to be removed before we start. Now, don't forget this series, the video before this and this one is how to work in a wet area, right? If you're doing tiling like an accent wall like we did in our bedroom, if you haven't seen that video, check it out. Put the link here and down in the video description. There's different rules for tiling in wet and versus dry, okay? So it doesn't have to be this complicated. You can go check out that video. I think you're gonna like it. One thing, this is the gloss tile, but even a permanent marker leaves a mark. Okay. Give a bit of this tub and tile cleaner. Let it sit for a minute or 2, okay? And I'm just gonna finish washing all of the dirt off the floor from the drilling process. Then I'm gonna get clean water and wash the walls just to make sure that all of my thin set is all removed from the grout lines and cleaned up. And then I'll be ready to move forward on the project. So that was really easy to wash, right? It's basically just get it wet. In this environment, because I'm using gray cement, if it gets wet, it goes like really dark gray. It's easy to identify. And because it's only been tiled for a couple of days, as soon as the cement soaks up the water, it hasn't cured yet, right? And so it wipes off. Next up is grouting. I'm ready to roll. Here's the polyblend grout. Now I'm gonna read the instructions. Check this out. Clean it. Put in 1.4 liters of water. Here we go. Now this table isn't exactly level right now, but I put in 1.4 liters of water. Then we're gonna add the whole box of grout. We're gonna mix it for 3 minutes, but instead of by hand, I'm gonna use my slow mixer. Then we're gonna let it sit for 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna give it a quick mix again. Then I'm gonna apply it. Then I've got, it says here 10 to 20 minutes. That's a lot of range. And the reason there's a range as when it sets up is because there are different factors at play. How cold is your water? What's the room temperature? What's the humidity in the room? What's the temperature of the room? Okay. How much are you working it while you're working with it? All of these different factors, okay? Is the air moving? Do you have a fan on? Like be real careful. The longer you want this to be able to last, the colder the water, the less you play with it, the cooler the room you're working in, all right? That'll give you the most extension. Because it has got a polymer additive, heat will speed up the setting time and set you back to 10 minutes. What we're gonna do, because I'm using cold water, and because I'm somewhat experienced with this type of polymer grout, I'm gonna just go with a 20-minute clock. I'm gonna start setting my grout, and I'm gonna set my timer, and then when it goes off, I have to stop grouting and start washing, regardless. If I can't grout this whole shower in 20 minutes, I gotta mix another bag, okay? You cannot push the envelope on this. You're gonna pay a price. It takes longer to polish and wipe than it does to apply. Just keep that in mind, all right? It's about another 30% longer to clean it all off than it is to put it all on. So you can follow my advice about how to apply. I'm gonna show you a couple of tips and tricks. We're gonna set the 20-minute clock. We're gonna try this product out because this is available at the local Home Depot. And then it says to wash it all and then wait 2 hours and then give it another wipe. Interesting. And then it says don't touch it for a day and a half, 16 hours. Now here's the joke. Here's a polymer modified unsanded grout, and they're showing you not to walk on it. And the reason for that is non-sanded grout doesn't go in floor joints, okay? But if you add a polymer to the unsanded grout, you can use it in floor joints as long as they're small enough. This product says here, it's good for joints up to 1/8 of an inch. Now, a lot of people are using rectified tile, large format stone. They're leveling their floors. They're putting 1/8 grout line on huge, beautiful glazed tile. You don't use sanded grout in that environment. You use a non-sanded, okay? Even though it's a floor, the rules are changed, right? The old standard was unsanded on the wall, sanded on the floor. But back when that rule was in effect, floor joints were 1/4 inch wide. I mean, you can almost drive a truck between your tiles, right? It's stupid. Now it's different. Now, then they're saying come back with the spray bottle product that they're selling on the shelf to put the sealer on the wall. What's up, Home Depot? That's different. The polymer modified product that I'm used to working with is called Ultra Color from Mapei. The sealer's already in the grout. It's one step. It's not two-stage. Almost identical instructions as far as applying and washing and work time. So, you know, like, because I come from the professional side of the industry where I used to put down thousands of square feet, I know which product works and what I'd like to use. This ain't it. But because it's available for you at your local store, I'm going to use it against my better judgment because now I've got to come back for another application. Now in the industry, I'll just give you a quick little history here. Tile contractors don't seal grout. New home construction, most renovations, unless it's specifically laid out in the contract, they're using the cheapest quality, price-wise grout that they can. Basic, non-sanded grout. They're going to get it done because then they're done the job after they wipe it. You see how they say let it sit for a day and a half? If you let it sit for a day and a half, you can expect a tile contractor to come back to spray on a grout sealer. That's up to you. So if you own a new home, think about this. Your grout's not sealed. None of the floors, none of the showers, nothing. No one's using sealer in the grout, okay? Unless the builder has it in the contract. So the first thing you want to do when you get in your house is apply your sealer. Now let's move on to trying this product out, because I could sit here and talk about grout for hours, but that's not why you're here. You're here to watch us renovate a bathroom. So before I go and tell you, hey, because you have to add a sealer to this after the fact, there's no sense using a polymer modified grout. You might as well just go to Lowe's and get the Ultra Color if you're going to use polymer modified, and then the sealer's in the bag. Or you can go to Lowe's and get the Cara Color. It doesn't have the polymer modification. And then you have all day long. You literally got almost 2 hours to work with grout when you use the Cara Color. And any homeowner can grout walls with that product, Cara Color, with a K. And then you can go ahead and buy your spray-on grout sealer or brush grout sealer if you want to. I'm just saying, you got to pick your poison. Either I'm going to be in a hurry and it's going to be done and I don't have to screw around anymore, or I'm going to get a product that gives me all kinds of time and flexibility and I'll commit to a sealing process later. Making me work really fast with the risk of destroying my tile project without the benefit of a sealer, I don't really understand where we're going, but let's do this because that's the whole premise of this bathroom reno. Always add your grout to the water, not the other way around. And I didn't want that to happen. Oh my God, all right, there we go. Now Jeff's just making a mess. All right, now here we go. Now I'm just using a regular grout mixing blade here, okay? And we're gonna get this done. In all my years of grout work, I've never seen something that has the right amount of water be that dry. It tells you can add 0.1 liters. Okay, there it is. It's just basically a wrung out sponge and then you squeeze it. That's all it is. And that might be enough. Remember, these things, they change consistency really quick, so don't overwater whatever you do. I'll show you what I'm looking at here, guys, okay? All right, so forget the directions. We're going to go with another 0.1. Here we go. I've been mixing 3 minutes with the machine, and you'll see in this grout, there's still little chunks, right? Now, if they haven't broken up yet, that's a problem, because this is my mix. It could be a chunk of red dye, I just don't know. So I gotta keep going until I get more smoother consistency. I like that. That's more what I'm looking for, okay? Okay, almost Blizzard. Dairy Queen Blizzard, almost. All right, now we're gonna let that sit for a few minutes according to the box. We'll give it another quick mix, and that'll allow whatever moisture is in that pail to penetrate all those little tiny chunks, okay? And then next time we should knock it all apart, and then we'll get a proper mixture. It'll be even thicker after the next mix. So we're gonna let that saturate. We'll get back to it. And as soon as we're done the second mix, I'll set my timer. We're off to the races. I just had to mention this real quick. You just saw me use a machine, a slow mixer designed for mixing grout with a grout mixer, and it took about 3 to 5 minutes. Now they're showing you on this box, that little tool here, okay? It's called a margin trowel. Can you imagine mixing that by hand for 3 minutes and getting the same result? That's the joke. The biggest joke is this. You know, if you go and do this project at home and you end up with big red streaks and different discoloration, and you call the company up and they say, well, you know, your grout's garbage, it's different color all over the wall, and they say, well, how did you mix it? And you say, I use a slow mixer and this. They're gonna say, well, picture says to use mix by hand, dummy. They're not gonna give you a warranty. But the truth is, there's no way in hell you're mixing that in 20 minutes by hand. So what is it? You're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Don't ever trust the warranty from companies. They have no intention of giving you one. All right, you gotta do what works. Oh, now it's a Dairy Queen Blizzard. Look at this. There's no way in hell I'm grouting the wall like that. I've got enough experience to know. The instructions on that box are setting you up for failure, guys. All right, give it a little rinse. I know the box says don't add any more water. But as soon as this stuff goes on the wall's wet, so it's gonna see more water at some point. And I need to be able to get it on the wall before I worry about it. There we go. Now that's looking pretty good. All right, I'll be honest with you, that's a nice consistency. I think it's gonna work well. Now it said I had 20 minutes to start the timer. Boom. Let's go. I've already wasted 3 seconds. Okay, let's get to work here. The way I start with my grout work, start from the ground up. Always have a clean floor, because if the grout falls on your shower pan, you can still lift it back up onto the wall. Okay? Don't be afraid to just get it on and then worry about what you do with it afterwards. Even when you have small grout lines, okay? Here we go. Now, man, I really did make a mess here, didn't I? I need to work a little clean. This is ridiculous. Okay, here we go. So, we're gonna lift it up, okay, on a 45 degree is this angle here, okay? And angle it this way as well. It pushes the air out of the way. On the inside corner, angle it towards the room, because in this scenario, we're trying not to fill the outside corner gap with grout. We're gonna rely on our grout caulking, okay? Now, where you're gonna end up getting struggling is all of these little corner beads. Resist doing what I'm doing there, okay? You want to come off the side of the grout to fill those corners. You're going to make a mess. You're going to waste a lot of product. But if you use your fingers and rub against that edge, that cut tile is going to slice you right open. And the next 20 minutes will be you going to the emergency room. That's not where we want to work. Okay? It's okay. Everything around here is designed to be washed. So don't worry about making a mess here. Your only focus is on getting good contact and getting everything filled up. Okay? Come at it from both sides. There we go. Peanut butter in there. All right, now that side is done. Let's make sure we got enough of the product up here. Okay. So, I'm pretty sure that my lines here are filled. Just gonna make sure. And now I'm removing the excess, okay? All right. Washing is a lot quicker if you don't leave all the grout on the wall, okay? The bigger the tile and the more gloss you have, the easier this process is. All right. Let's get in and up. How are we doing here? Great. 4 minutes in. Okay. Almost done the first side. Okay. All right. I'm gonna start at the top here where I can't reach with the bench. Get this all done. All right. Do the other side on the bench. I'm just stealing grout. Right. Cleaning one side and stealing it for the other side. Right now you're probably thinking, wow, he's gonna have a lot of leftover grout. And yep, I will, but you know what, I don't care. It's not about saving the money. This is about getting the best possible job. And if I start cheating trying to save the grout for some other project, I'm not gonna have the right color. It might come out too dark. Or maybe too light. Who knows, right? I swear, I think I must have cut myself. All right, sure feels like it. Okay. You'll notice I'm not grouting at up to the ceiling because we're going to rely on the grout caulking for this, okay? I can reach all that from this ground, so let's finish this now. There we are. my phone. I don't want to get covered in grout. All right, there we go. Now this is work, guys. Okay? Don't deceive yourself in thinking this isn't work. But do yourself a favor and resist the temptation to use a fan while you're doing this. That air movement is going to make that set up so fast. Let's get the extra grout here now. Okay. So I'm where I can get this bench out of my way. Beautiful. 14 minutes. I'm a rock star. I've only been at it for 6 minutes, max. Not bad, eh? Whew, okay. Okay. Here, 13 minutes left. I'm at a point here where I'm not feeling any pressure now. I know I'm going to be able to get this done. So that's good. Now, oh, one of those waxy things is on the tile. Darn. Hey. Turn another one over here. Okay. Okay. Now, these plastic edges, you want to grout both sides. Make sure you really go to town with this. Okay. Just if for no other reason, and make sure that you got something in that gap, because we won't be siliconing that gap later. Now this one we intentionally left a good gap on it, right? In the other video before this, I showed you how to set this all up with the spacers. There we go. Another one of those things. Yeah. Okay. 11 minutes. Right on. Almost done the most difficult part. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Another one of those waxy things. What a pain. I really should have paid more attention to that, eh? Okay. 11 minutes left. Put that back. Okay, let's get up here. Haven't done this yet. This is already getting more difficult to work with because you'll find that because it's so long since I washed, the wall is all dried out now. So it's not adding moisture to the grout anymore as I work it. So now it's starting to get thick. Just for the record, if you're thinking about your own projects, consider using stone that requires a bone grout or a white grout or a lighter dark gray, okay? Try to resist the temptation to get fancy with those other colors. And the reason that is so is a lot of those other colors, they haven't done a very good job with perfecting the tile grout silicone, all right? And so the colors are always going to be a little bit weird. And then you have to grout everything and then rely on clear silicone after the fact. And it doesn't protect your joints as well. And then your grout will end up cracking and you'll be able to see that. And that just won't look very nice. Okay? Here we go. I am done. Double check. Caulking joints, finished. Caulking joints up the side. Right, so there we go. That's finished. 8 minutes left, okay? It was 12 minutes. I can start washing now. Okay, look how dry that is. It's like rubbing off. Okay. Wow, yeah. No reason to wait for it. Beautiful. Well, I'm going to turn off my phone. Actually, Max, can you throw that somewhere for me, buddy? Thank you. And we're going to start the washing process. First thing you wash is your tool. Okay? If this float gets the grout on there for an hour without getting washed off, you just throw it in the garbage. It's done. And granted, the polymer stuff works really well, right? I mean, it's a good quality grout as far as bonding concerned. That polymer in there is a really good bonding agent. Okay, there we go. Now that's nice and clean. All right, you're gonna wanna have at least 2 pails. Okay, the first one you're gonna wanna wash everything and take most of the grout off. The second pail you're gonna actually use to clean this tile, okay? Because it leaves less haze. Okay, you see the gap next to the plastic edge here? Now the finishing on this edge is going to be a caulking joint, put on with a wet sponge and then painted up to the plastic. All right, so I don't want to have any extra grout sitting there. That's important. Bring your sponge out. For this application, we're just wiping the excess grout. That's it. Okay, we just want to make sure that this is going to be manageable when it's time to buff. And this is not the time where you worry about if you have, you see a gap in the grout line. Okay, save all of the minor repairs that you're going to want to do on your work for during the second sponging. Okay, right now you're just managing the polymer more than anything else right now. Let's just get all this extra stuff out of our way. All right. The good news is it's not going to bond to your acrylic shower base. I just don't like getting it all over my shoes. Okay, so now it's very important that you just wipe all the excess off, okay, in the same order that you applied it. Because it should take about the same amount of time to wipe this down as it did to put it on. We're not going to make you watch me do 15 minutes of washing, but this is just the first wash. Go across your grout lines contrary to the grout, at least 45. So it's the same as when you put it on, you take it off the same way. 45's okay? And that'll make sure that you rub it in and leave it nice and flush with the surface. If you go with the line, you're gonna gouge it all out. All right, I'll get this done and I'll have you join me for the second wash. All right, guys, take a little bit of the grout. It's like an eraser, okay? You're gonna find a couple of air holes, big deal. You rub it in. Leave it messy so you know you have to work it. Now, the reason I grouted from the bottom up and then around the top is because I knew when it came time to wash that if I was in trouble, I would want to wash the hottest part of the room first. So I washed up and I got up here, and the heat from 6 feet and up is usually almost 10 degrees warmer in your house than the rest of your house. So this is why it sets up a lot faster, and I wanted to be ready to just do these top couple rows. Everything looks pretty good here. Okay, if you miss anything, patch it up. Now's the time to do it. Okay. We're gonna give those patches a couple minutes to set up. Now we've got clean water. All right, and now I'm just gonna go, it's a little bit boring, but this is how you get rid of your grout haze, okay? Clean your ceiling as well. And we're gonna be painting it anyway, but you set your brush, go a couple of feet, you turn it over, you set it a couple of feet, walk away, okay? The first time you touch it with the wrung out sponge, you're removing excess grout. The second time, you're removing haze, okay? And you don't want to have too much water in there. And you pick up the haze and you walk away. If you wipe it again, you're just going to wipe new haze off and leave old haze behind. So, this is about time and patience. Get 3 grout lines, that's plenty. Next time I come, I'm going to be starting here, 1, 2, 3, and doing 3 more grout lines, right? All right, my touch-up is done and clean. And then we just go around the whole room and do the same thing, right? So we're going to do this. Now here's the trick. I have a horizontal grout line that needed repairing. I can't wipe horizontally. I'm going to set it, press at the bottom, and then just wipe up. Okay? That's all I can do. And I think the reason it needed repairing is because I probably went sideways whoop, with the sponge at some point. Okay, so I'll clean the tile beneath the grout line like that, and above the grout line like that. Get it clean. There we go. Okay, now guys, if you're following this tutorial as a guide so you can do your own tile work, consider this. The water that's in this pail right now should not go down your drains, okay? What you want to do is take your sponge out, give it a good wring, and you want to leave that pail with that water, and all of the polymer and all of the grout will settle to the bottom, okay? Overnight. Usually takes about 12 hours. After that, you can take it outside. You can pour that water into the lawn or into a ditch, and then let it dry for a day or two, okay? And then you can just turn it upside down, give it a slap in the backside of the old pail there, and that big chunk of crap will just pop right out and you can throw it in the garbage, okay? You don't want to risk clogging up your drain system, and then you can even have a clean pail when you're finished. All right, there's a handy dandy tip from someone who's had to learn the hard way. Yeah, that was a back charge I did not appreciate. All right, here we go. That's my wife. Must be lunchtime. One more thing. This grout, please let it dry. Seriously, okay? Don't be in a hurry to start doing other work. I would suggest probably 2 days before you even put your fixtures on. If you're in a hurry, put a fan in here, okay? Just lightly point at the ceiling, get some air movement. Turn on the bathroom fan, get the moisture out of here. But yeah, okay? Don't be in a hurry. This is a 20-minute challenge. Now the alarm went off and I was about 2 minutes away from being done washing. So it took me 20 minutes to apply it and wash it off. Give you an idea, a large format tile, there's not a lot of grout line, but if you're working with smaller tile, you'd be surprised how long it takes you to even get the grout on. So be careful. If you're gonna use that quick set stuff, make sure you got a large format tile on the wall. You'll be just fine. All right, we're back. And it's been a couple days. We've let this really dry and set up, okay, and cure. Remember when I washed, I was wiping off the residue of the grout. And even when you do that, you're still gonna get a fine dust, okay? So it's important you take a rag of some sort and have a little tool on you like this. because I've also painted the whole room since then. All right, because we want to have a finished painted surface before we do all of our caulking and silicone. It's kind of like one of the last steps. So we're going to clean all of the tile down. We're going to add all the plumbing fixtures, right? But I'm going to do the tile caulking around the ceiling and work from top down. So I'll do the tile caulking around the top. I'll put in the plumbing fixtures. That's in a lot of cases going to cause dust and debris to fall, especially when I drill through the tile. So that's why you want to work from top down, always being sensitive to the fact that silicone takes 24 hours to really cure, and you don't want to be working on top of fresh silicone. That's the secret. All right, and you're just rubbing quick wipe. This is not really rocket science. I don't even know if the camera's gonna be able to pick up the difference that I'm making here, but I can see it in the gloss that the dust is gone. And the reason I want the dust gone is there's one more step after I'm done polishing this, and you can see all the dust on the rag, right? So obviously there's a residue there. One more step is to seal the grout. Now with large format tile, sealing the grout is actually really important because it can trap moisture in behind the wall, all right? So you want to just get this all cleaned off. And remember, we're using Home Depot products, and the Home Depot product actually calls for using a grout sealer with their unsanded poly blend grout, which is unique because it's a quick dry grout that still needs to be sealed. And since we're doing this video specifically on their product line, I'm going to follow their steps, but if I'm going to go use a poly blend grout, I'm a polymer modified grout, I'm going to go and buy the Ultra Color from Mapei because the sealer's already in it and it saves a whole step. But this is what it is. All right, not everybody has a Lowe's in their neighborhood. So if that's you, you'll be able to follow this video and be successful, which of course is the most important key, right? Being competent with your work is the first thing. Once you're competent, then you can worry about being efficient. All right? Getting all this ladder work done first. I felt something there. Here we go. Now I'm gonna get a new rag and I'm gonna do the bottom half, maybe even a couple more. All right, you can't just keep polishing with the dirty rag or you're just gonna leave more dirt on the top. So here's the grout sealer that they're selling. It's a Surface Guard Tile Lab. They're carrying a whole line of Tile Lab products, okay? So this is not new. The directions are behind the flip tab. And they basically say, you know, put it on and then after 5 minutes, wipe off the excess. Okay, well, this is a gloss tile, so there's no penetrating sealer going into the tile. It's just the grout. And I don't wanna make a great big mess for myself. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just spraying down the corner of my sponge, all right? And I'm just gonna go like this. And you'll see that the grout actually turns a darker color right away. So you know if you've got it wet, okay? This is just gonna be an easier way for me to manage whether I know that it's got sealed or not. And you can use those little paint brushes too if you like. Pour some of this into a glass or something. Use a little paintbrush. Those little foam brushes that they sell, they're like disposable. Here we go. And this doesn't look like much is going on, but the reality is that a sealed grout doesn't let the water penetrate in behind it. It's just one more layer of protection, okay? There we go. Excuse me, I'll just finish off this process and we'll move on to the next one. Well, that took about 5 minutes, perfect. Right, now it's time to just go back, follow my same steps, and just wipe off all the excess, right? Now this sealer, it tends to have like almost like an alcohol effect on the gloss. It just evaporates. So if it's not penetrating, it's not sealing anything. It's actually real easy to wipe off. Look at that. Beautiful. So it looks like it's going to take me another 5 minutes to finish wiping all this off now. That's great. So 10 or 15 minutes, you can have your grout sealed. Big surprise. Just don't be in a hurry to get wet. All right, always check the instructions before you use something. Bathrooms are finicky that way. There's a lot of products in a bathroom that have drying time and curing time and working time, and you need to understand the product before you use it. Here we go. All right, guys. Now here we are. Let's talk about the two products we're going to use in the shower, okay? And the reason I'm buying everything from Home Depot, again, is so that you can manage your expectation. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. These are not products that I use, but that's what they sell. So we're rolling the dice. They sell an almond color, which from the tip should be about the color of its finish, right? So that'll be a nice caulking edge. This is just a regular kitchen, bathroom, mold, mildew kind of resistant silicone. And I'm going to use that on some of these really thin lines just to get a good seal. But on these thicker lines around the ceiling, I'm using a bone, what do they call this? Ceramic tile caulking. Okay, let's go with number one. First step, I have a rather significant gap on that side. So I'm going to cut a medium tip for the first two sides, like that. Sharp knife, 45 degrees, gives you lots of control. I'm going to go a much sharper angle though. There we go. So when I'm applying it, I can go like this and keep a tight bead, or I can go like this and open up and get a nice wide one, all right? That is really the secret to this. It takes a little bit of practice. If you're not used to it, go grab yourself a cardboard box and a tube of caulking, all right? And then just practice caulking all of the corners on the inside of the box. Throw it all away. $10, it'll be enough experience so you can do this like a pro, all right? Here we go. Let's try this bad boy out. Hopefully we like this product. You know, I had this happen before with these types of silicone. They start out like a bottle of mustard that's never been shaken. And they're just runny. I don't understand that. Okay, don't like the consistency of this product at all. Maybe you're supposed to shake it first. Okay. It takes a little getting used to here, that's for sure. Really want to work clean. So now I'm going to come from the other side, and then I'll be able to finish up together. The less you touch this kind of stuff, the better, okay? One wet finger wipe. If you want to get right up and tight, okay, and get some grout away, wrap your 4-inch knife, set it, and then like swipe it down, okay? And you can get the excess off the tile without disturbing the bead. This stuff is not really workable. Remember, you really got to get it right the first time. It's a little on the frustrating side. You might find that just using regular silicone will work better for you, especially if you don't have a lot of experience working with that product. Again, try not to use any pressure. They make a caulking tool, all right? And it's got a contoured edge, and you can use that to wipe this stuff in. It's a little bit better than your finger because of the safety factor, right? That is a cut tile, and if you're not careful, you just slice your hand open trying to draw a nice edge here. And there we go, push that in. That takes some getting used to with that big of a gap. Let's try going back and filling it over. I'm just going to clean up my mess that I made here. Looks pretty nasty at the moment, doesn't it? I can come by after this is all set and do some touch-ups. That's what we're gonna do. And before I break out the second tube and finish this off, I'll do that all off camera. Let's get out the silicone and I'll show you how to use that in the tighter spot, okay? Good silicone will have a cap, all right? Gonna yank that off. We're making a small hole. Even has rings on the tip here and it kind of lines up what your angle should be. I'm gonna go with that. That'll be nice. Again, experience pays here. Start small. If it's too small and it's not filling the gap and creating a bond from one side of the tile to the other side of the tile, then just cut the hole bigger. But start small. Remember, the reason we're using this instead of grout is because expansion contraction can leave the grout in the corner to chip. Now, in some cases, you've seen me do videos where I've grouted and then added clear silicone. That's an option. If you have nice gaps, you can just go with straight silicone. Okay, it's preferred. It's more of an industry standard. Oh, stupid me. You gotta pierce the hole. Okay, which means I'm gonna start into a rag, get the goop from my puncture stick out of there. There we go. Same thing, just a little bit of a smear now. Make sure it's closed on both sides. That's all you need, okay? Ta-da! Now, if you find that you leave too much on the tile, go back with a dry thumb. You can just run the edge there, okay? And then smooth it in again. After 2 minutes of that being on there, don't touch it again though, okay? Your working time is very short. So work in small sections at a time if you need to, so you can accomplish your goal. When you're done, put the top back on so you can use it again later, all right? The phone rings, put the top on. You don't want to have a dry chunk come out because then you're wiping it out and then you're making a mess and then 30 seconds later you're starting to cure and So that is the plan. All right, I am gonna get the rest of this done. And remember, this was my wall mount for the hose, okay, for the back wall. And that's the perfect size for the last wall system. We've added a 1/2 inch. The good news is they sell these NPT 1/2 inch pipe threaded things in 1/2 inch increments. All right, so now this is the perfect size. I already know it. This is what makes this so much fun. Now, I don't know exactly where the perfect thing is going to be on this as far as the depth is concerned. I'm going to go with 3 runs on this tape, okay? Because the new one's on back order. Now, worst case scenario, this one's solid brass. I can clean it up if I had to. It's just not the same design line. But welcome to the supply chain issues of modern day. Okay. Okay. All I have to do is get that in straight. There we go. Okay. So that's installed as it needs to be for now. I'm also going to put a couple of runs of tape on it. Now that is all established and ready to go. Okay. Okay, next up is overhead. This shower head is really high up there and it's lovely. Whenever you're doing a rain shower head, consider making it nice and high. The further the water drops, the faster it falls, the more impact it has on your hair. Women love using a rain shower, especially when it's really high up, because there's enough impact with that water. Water pressure builds as it falls to wash the soap out of a lot of hair, right? Brilliant idea. Well, here we go. This particular stuff, again, this is all RenoVision Pro. Here's the cap, all right? And it comes with a rubber gasket. And so there's no set screw. You just slide this over. And then when you're done, you can slide it back in place and it's not gonna ever move. Okay, so it works out great. Now, we're gonna put some thread on here. This, of course, is a plumbing connection inside the wall. It's one of the most crucial that you get. So I go 3 times around the top and then I work my way towards the stub. I'm gonna go 6. Sometimes I've gone as much as 10, depending how much I trust the company. The good news is that RenoVision Pro, all of these brass fittings, not plastic, these are all manufactured in Canada. They're not overseas, all right? So at least we have a little bit more quality control with our production here in this country. And if something goes wrong, it's nice to know that they're in the same country as you. All right, now, I'm a little too short for this. I'm gonna go get my ladder and get up there and tighten it up properly. All right, now I'm using medium strength. Probably is gonna seal, but I know I can get one more rotation out of this bad boy, so I'm gonna take it. And that's where it gets difficult. 2 hands. I've never once had a situation where the pipe broke under the strength trying to thread it, okay? So, you know, at least I have that comfort. Almost there. Perfect. Check this bad boy out. I don't know about you, but you need the washer so it doesn't leak out over the top and make a mess. It's optional if you want to leave the screen in, okay? In this particular case, I'm going to leave the screen in because I don't have a screen in anywhere else in the water system here. And so if I'm going to get any chunks coming through the water line from the old pump and the old water lines downstairs, I want to make sure that that's going to work. Now we don't need Teflon here, we have a gasket, okay? So we're just going to, really simple, we're going to go backwards until it clicks. Right there. Did you hear that, Max?
Oh yeah.
Nice. Okay. Now that's as tight as I can go with my hand. We're going to take the foam packaging that comes with the plumbing. I'm going to use that, wrap it around the chrome. Okay, here we go. That way we don't damage anything. Now that is about as slim and sexy as you're going to get, right? That actually gives you good water pressure when it's nice and thin because the water is forced into all these little holes under a lot of pressure. Can't wait to turn that on and see how it looks. Next up is a RenoVision Pro shower system. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Now, we've got stainless steel screws and plugs. We're going to need those. I've got directions. I'll keep that. That's for later. I hope they never change. Right? That is a really quality hose. You give that a couple of days of being installed and it's going to hang really nice. There you go. Good plumbing is all in the quality of the hose, eh? We want to get the information for the distance between the set screws. There's going to be one mount at top and bottom. Okay, so we want to get that information. There are two different options. The round head and the square one. So you got to pick because apparently they get set at different heights. That is really interesting. So that I'm reading the right product literature. Okay, my holes are 29 7/8. All right, you got to decide if you want it on the left or on the right. Okay, it doesn't really make a difference. For me, because the hose is on the right, the hose mounts. If this is my rod, I want the hose to go down and come up this side. So I'm going to go that way, and it's easier to operate with your thumb this way than upside down, right? So I'm going to slide that in the hole. All right, and it's like just one finger operation. This is brilliant, right? That's really high quality, especially for aging folks. If you've got like arthritis or something, that's what you want to have. You don't want to have a knob you have to turn to make an adjustment, okay? Here we go. Enough salesmanship. Let's get on with this. Right. Now, I happen to know that these parts are plastic for a reason, okay? And these are made overseas. So I'm going to confirm my gap is exactly as the instructions. You never really know. Call me crazy, but I like to double check and triple check when it comes from overseas. So 20 7/8 works. Now we just want to find the right location. Okay, so it operates as a wand from up here. All right, I kind of like that because everything here is so tall. I just want to get this evenly spaced from the grout line so it looks really nice. And I want it on the center line underneath the lights. Okay, that's a really good spot for me. So we're gonna throw a center line on this bad boy. 16.5. Wow, that's actually really good. Okay, so I'm gonna go 3 inches below the grout line and I end up 3 1/4. That's really nice. Okay, and then one here on the red line, 29 7/8. For this, I've got a diamond tip bit, which creates a number 8 size hole, which is perfect for the plugs and screws. Make sure you get the right fit for this. Trick here is, you remember when we drilled this hole in the previous video? We don't have the luxury of that little guide, so we are gonna start with the battery on the wall and just use the side and brace myself so I can start a hole and then slowly line it up, okay? Now I got a nice little crater there. So we're going to use the sponge again. This thing starts to get hot. It just doesn't work when it's hot. Okay, we're going to just set the sponge here. This is going to take a minute. I think I've used this bit one time too many. Oh yeah, she's done.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah. There's nothing left at the top. But that is way too clean and smooth and at the top. I think I'm down to shaft. Ah, damn it. Back to the store I go. I don't have another one of these bits here today. Bugger. Good news, Home Depot also sells a rather simplified version of a glass and tile bit that I've used before and it always works, so I'm going to switch over to that. I just came back from shopping. This is my plug kit that I like to use when I'm doing fixtures. It says it's a 1/4 inch drill bit on this, and that's the diameter of the hole that it makes. So when you're doing tile, you want to make sure that you're using the same size plug, right, the yellow plugs, as the hole you're making. So this one here is a 1/4 inch glass and tile bit, okay? And it's more like a spade. It does really good at starting holes because it has a very small pinpoint that it starts with. And then it'll get rid of the glaze for you. Once you've started your hole, then you can stick one of these bad boys in there because then you don't have to fight with it. You don't have to hold it in the right position while you grind your hole and risk wrecking your tile job. So that's what we're gonna do. When you put in the plug, you add some silicone. So I'm just gonna finish drilling the holes and then we're gonna mount this thing. So here we go with the glass and tile bit. We're gonna start a hole. Wow. There we go. That only took a half an hour. It's another good reason to consider using ceramic tile. There we go. Beautiful. Got 2 holes out of that one bit. But there's 2 layers of well, actually, yeah, it's porcelain on the other side too. That's a lot of porcelain. It's a good bit. I would buy that one before I bought the Milwaukee when they're selling at the Home Depot. This is like this looks like a professional tile bit, but it's just not drilling the hole properly, right? I would use this one any day of the week. And you know, you're not supposed to, but because they tell you if you're drilling a hole, you don't use the hammer drill function. But the truth is just this works so much faster. Without it, that takes a long time. My goodness. So I'm taking the plugs and I'm going to use these stainless steel screws that come in the package. Okay. And for added protection, I'm going to fill the holes with silicone before I put the plugs in. You might think this is a little overkill, and in a lot of cases it is, but this particular shower has probably a good 30 or 40 year lifespan ahead of it, so why not make sure that every aspect of this is a 40-year lifespan. All right. Okay, let's have a good look. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking a good look. This is the part that's going to come in contact with the wall. But this actually comes in contact with the wall, and this is a 1/16 of an inch off. It's just enough room for the head of that plastic plug so it can stay on the surface. All right, so we're gonna leave that alone. Depending on the manufacturer, you might need to take your knife and cut the heads off. All right, but if you can leave it on, it just makes it all that much stronger, all right? Now, there we go. We use the blade of the knife to get the cap started. We take those off, and the screw right down the middle. Again, get on the right side, so you're over the shoulder. We're going to put silicone in the hole. Okay. Okay. You just want to tighten it until it's not making any independent movement, okay? You don't want to over tighten. All these fittings here are plastic, so you do have to be somewhat careful. Now, for the top part, also comes off, so we got to be really careful here. This is all about the process. We got the screw set. We're gonna get some more silicone right in that hole. I'm gonna hold the drill with the screw and then set the rod in place. Okay. There we go. Snap our caps in. That's it, okay? No need to bother putting any silicone in there on the caps. Remember, the screws are stainless steel. When this is all said and done, if you want to protect your screw even a little bit more, you can feel free to put a little clear silicone just around the edge here on the top and the bottom to keep water from getting in behind. Never silicone the bottom of something so that you have the ability, if water does get in behind, it can also drain. Make sense? All right. Here's this little pipe that I put in before. I took it out to double check the measurement. So I'm gonna add another little bit of Teflon on here for both ends. Now, the wall angle that I purchased is still on back order. So I cleaned up the old one and we're gonna use it for now. Now I tested it and it was almost a perfect fit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add just a little bit of thread sealer on here. Okay. Yes, you can add thread sealer and Teflon in the same space. No, most guys don't. But when in doubt, having that extra lubrication is the difference between getting this thing in the right position or being stuck going sideways, right? So you don't have an option here. So instead of over tightening everything, we can go gentle. Get that in there. The best part about doing both threads at the same time is I can't over tighten this and leave the inside loose. Okay? There we go. Now the $1 million question is, can we get another full rotation out of that? And to answer that, you gotta decide how much wiggle room do you have? I think we can get away with it. All right. And let's get it in position. There we go. Woohoo! Okay, I'm just gonna get reorganized here and then we'll put the covers on here and we'll attach the hose. All right, so now we are going back with our covers. All right, here we go. Okay, now remember gap on the bottom where the foam isn't is the one you want down. Same rule if water gets in behind. We don't want it that far back. It even goes over here. Yeah. There it is. Okay, now tighten the set screws. Both of these have washers, okay? This one has a marker on it for where the flow comes from, because one end is designed to sit in the cradle and one end is designed to be attached to the water supply. So you want to make sure you don't get that confused. Water supply first in this scenario. Should be able to tighten that finger tight without needing a wrench. Okay. And this particular model adjusts as well, so you can even use this as a shower like that and adjust your jet settings, okay? Brilliant. Now, give that one good hot shower and this whole cable will relax in position. That'll be nice. Okay, so that's one fixture. Positive stops in between, which is awesome. Okay, everything's working. Yay. Okay, so the last step here obviously is to wipe down your floor. Let it dry, like really dry. Put a fan on it if you need to, if you want to finish the same day, or just wait till tomorrow. Come back and then you do the silicone on the base and install a door or a shower curtain, whatever works best for you. If you want to see the door that we bought for this kit, we're going to put it in a different video, and we're going to be doing all bathroom fixture installations in one video, okay? We're going to have mirrors and taps and lighting fixtures and all the other, you know, parts of the assembly of things you need to know how to assemble in your bathroom. We'll put that in the next video because, to be honest with you, when we're filming in this 4K HD, the file sizes are too big to put all this information and make these videos any longer. So YouTube just can't handle a file as large as we're sending it right now. So we have to break this up a little bit. It'll be in the next video, all right? As you can see, you don't always have to go back to the very beginning to make a great transformation. Now, if you're researching and you're looking for different options, we've got different videos in the series that you can take a look at for bathroom renovation and remodeling, and you can take a look at those links at the end of this video. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, then do so, okay? Follow along for the rest of this remodel series, because this is going to be an awesome transformation of this 4-piece bath. We'll see you in another video soon.